Hey guys, this Ask Misty is from an anonymous question. I just had Brian pick it out from my list of questions.
Alrighty. Hey girl.
Hey girl! Dear Misty.
Me, as a simple gay guy, sometimes get offended by people's comments, and it gets to me sometimes. My question to you is, do you ever get made fun of for anything, and how do you deal with it? Thanks.
I never get made fun of. I'm perfect. Everyone loves me, and I have no flaws. What about you, Brian? Do you ever get made fun of?
No, absolutely not.
Because you're beautiful and perfect and wonderful, and we're the pretty people, and you should be like us.
How could you make fun of this?
Honestly.
No, I'll tell. Can I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I used to get made fun of every single day in school growing up. I was a fat kid in a wheelchair. When I would try to get up and walk, I remember the kids would push me down and watch me fall down, and they'd all laugh. And then I remember going home, and I would go home crying, and my mom would just hold me, and she would say, if you fall down, all you have to do is pick yourself back up again. And if you fall down after that, you keep getting back up, and you keep picking yourself back up until you get where you want to go.
I grew up in a very, very large family, the son of a minister, and we were very, very, very dirt poor. And I remember people would make fun of me back in my high school era. If you didn't have an IOU sweatshirt, you were poor and made fun of. If you didn't have,
I remember that. That was my high school. They used to
Skids,
bomb equipment, IOU, Cavarici, and
yep, skids overalls or Guess jeans.
Oh my gosh! So I was the little brother of the most popular kid in school, and everything everything he would say, everybody would laugh at, and then I'd say the same thing, and they were all like. Funny. So then I tried to find my own identity. So I decided to like the Beatles, and I went and got all these Beatles shirts. But I didn't know any Beatles songs.
I just love that.
I knew Let It Be, that's it.
But I did get made fun of for being poor, and I did get made fun of. Then I was a flaming homosexual and made. But I remember going home asking Mom, "What is a gay bee? What's a homo? What's this and what's that?" And
I got made fun of for being fat.
I wasn't fat until later.
No, as a kid I was fat. I would never take my shirt off at the beach. Yeah. I remember my brother used to call me cheese nips because I had woman boobs, and I used to tape them down with tape as I went to school, and I would have tape.
Well, did you ever get offended by these?
Oh my God, it made me cry on a regular basis.
I cried a lot.
On a regular basis.
Did you ever hate yourself?
Absolutely.
Were you ever suicidal?
Absolutely.
Oh my God, me too. I hated myself. I was suicidal, and people would make me cry every day. What did you learn from this part of your life?
Well, I think the older that I get, I've learned that, first of all, anything anybody says has nothing to do with you.
It's true. I definitely believe that.
Whether it's good or whether it's bad. If they say, "Oh my God, Brian, you are so hot," it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with how I affected them at that moment.
And how they perceive you.
Right. If someone says, "Brian, you're now I don't think I'm fat because I'm fucking obsessive about it, and I go to the gym every single day, and I still look at myself in the mirror and I see that fat little boy, and I will tear my body apart when everybody else is like, no, I do. I'm so hard on myself, and I'm ultra sensitive. And anytime I put something in my body that has calories in it, I remember I used to throw up my food and starve myself. That definitely caused eating disorders for me. But what I've learned as an adult, and what I have to keep relearning and keep reminding myself of, is anything anybody says has absolutely nothing to do with you. And if somebody is going to bring you down, and I know that we hear this, but we don't really, really, really understand it.
Let me explain it to you. I'll explain it to you.
Okay.
Let's think of a fat person, and I'm going to use my mother as an example. My mother is chronically obese, much bigger than me. And I remember being little, my mom, I would sit in the car with my mom. My mom loved to people watch, and I think I really picked that up from her because I loved to people watch. I'd go to the airport, we can't go to the airport and watch people now, but go to the mall, just go and just watch people. And I remember my mom would be sitting in the Walmart parking lot going, oh my God, if I ever get that fat, kill me. And I remember thinking, Mom, you are that fat. And I remember thinking, just because, how does she not see this, first of all? But as an adult, I realized...
See, look, I'm letting you talk without cutting you off.
Don't be sensitive. I remember thinking as an adult, it's true.
She just yelled at me in there while we were getting rid of the videos. She goes, you guys cut me off. I do not.
But I'm not going to finish my thought now.
I'm kidding, go ahead.
But I remember as an adult thinking, just because my mother would call other people fat, it doesn't mean she's automatically skinny. Like, everyone in the car knows that she's fat.
Right.
And as the bullies in your life, I don't know what you get made fun of. I don't know if you get made fun of for being redheaded or freckled or blonde or albino or black or Chinese or fat or too skinny. There's a lot of reasons people make fun of. But I think a lot of times bullies pick on people just because they sense insecurity.
Well, no, I think bullies are bullied.
Yeah. And, okay, like the dolly experiment. This is a doll. And the psychologist gives the girl a doll and says, play with the doll. And then the little girl goes, you're a fucking bitch! Blah, 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 you never listen! And starts beating the doll. What does that say to you? That little girl gets beat up.
Yeah.
That child suffers abuse.
Whoever is bullying you is somebody that was bullied, or is somebody who is trying to.
The point is, yes, you're going to get made fun of. You're going to get made fun of for the rest of your life because you're too fat, too tall, too skinny, for whatever. You're too shy. You're too extroverted.
Okay, this is what I have to say. The moment people stop talking about you is when you need to worry.
That is also true.
If people are talking about you, that means
they're threatened.
They're threatened by you.
That is true. I definitely believe that.
Yeah.
And if they're not talking about you, they're not threatened. But in that moment of pain and fear and humiliation, you need to realize that
how do you handle it? I think in the question is,
yeah.
how do you deal with it? You don't acknowledge it. I mean, if
you
somebody,
definitely deal with it, but you don't acknowledge it.
Well, yeah, right. But I'm saying, when you fuel that fire, that's what they want.
The more upset you get, or the madder you get, or the more you react. Like, if you called me, I don't know, brunette, or something, I don't know. If you're like, oh my God.
You tranny!
Yeah, and I'm like, ah!
You like that?
Ah! I don't, now as an adult, I'm like, hashtag obvious, thanks for paying attention. But as an adult, or as a child, we're like, ah! And start crying or getting all upset. The more upset you get, the more they're going to pick on you.
When I found out I was HIV positive,
You're positive? I can't talk to you.
Oh my God. You should have heard the things people said about me. And I was so...
I can't imagine.
I still get really sensitive about that. I still do. To the point where I don't want to date negative people because I don't want to have to put myself in a situation where I feel like I'm less than or dirty or... You know, that is still something that I struggle with. As far, you know, if somebody wanted to make fun of me and they wanted to really get under my skin, they would talk about me being positive, and that hurts me. Oh, it destroys me because that's still something that I'm angry about. You know, that's something that I'm still coping with. If somebody called me a fag, I'd be like, oh, girl. If somebody...
You've already dealt with that. You already accepted it. You're proud of it.
Right, yeah, I mean, it is...
I love being a fag.
I'd be like, ew, I'd hate to be straight. That would suck, being a straight person trying to get laid.
Yeah,
like, think of all the work straight people have to do to get laid. But going back on track.
So the end of the question was, do you ever get made fun of everything? We already talked about that.
How do you deal with it? Thanks.
How do you deal with it?
You look at yourself in the mirror and you pat yourself on the back and you tell yourself what a wonderful person you are.
You recently just watched my It Gets Better video. I did an It Gets Better video. I can put a link here for you if you want. But no matter what you're getting made fun of for, I'm only imagining that you're young, but you will get made fun of as an adult. But no matter what it is, it's going to get better. And you know what I realized also as an adult? People like Lady Gaga were made fun of their whole life. Angelina Jolie was made fun of because of her big fat lips. People were made fun of, but as an adult, people learn to respect and admire those same things that people, like Tyra Banks, they called her a giraffe and weird.
Yeah.
So you have to realize the people that are making fun of you, it's not because what they're making fun of is unattractive. It's because they know
they take the obvious.
Yeah.
They take the obvious and they make fun of it. You know?
Because they need to feel better about themselves. And by putting you down, they feel somehow more powerful. Like, I'm going to make you cry, and that's going to make me feel happy because I'm hurting inside so bad, and I want somebody else to cry. Misery loves company.
You know what? Fuck them.
Don't fuck them. Do not ever have sex with them. In fact, pretend they don't exist.
But I do think that you should. Anytime you're having, I was watching Oprah Winfrey Network, and you know, whenever you're feeling depressed or down or defeated, go to somebody else who gets made fun of more than you, and all you need to do is say, "Tell me about it." And that will immediately lift your pain away. It's saying go find somebody who's in more pain than you and tell them and ask them to tell you about it.
You know what? You're right.
Tell you about it.
No, you're right. As my fellow, you probably already know that I was molested from the age of 3 years old until 13, and then I was also raped at 15 and 17, and maybe a time or two as an adult. But what helped me as a child was counseling other people. At church camp, I remember I had people in my bunkhouse, and I didn't have to be told. I just had like this vampire telepathic power to look at them and say, they're a victim of child abuse. And I just knew it. And I remember ministering to these children and ministering to them.
Look, I have goosebumps now.
Yeah.
When you're saying that.
Ministering to them and helping them deal with their problems helped me deal with my problems. And I was able, that's what I do on my YouTube channel. I talk about the fucked up things in my life because it helps me deal with it publicly by helping somebody else. So I totally agree with you. Go find somebody else that maybe has the same problem.
No, somebody that's hurting more than you.
Yeah, but they could be hurting more with the same problem.
Right, I'm just saying, go find somebody who gets made fun of more. Go find, I don't want to single anybody out, but go find somebody who's less fortunate than you and sit down with them and grab their hand and say, "Tell me about your day. I want to know what's going on." And just,
you don't even have to tell them why.
Just listen to them, yeah.
And then if you want to start telling them by what happened to you that upset you. And I guarantee that together, by talking about your traumas, we'll bond. Absolutely. And you'll make a special friend.
Absolutely. You're perfect exactly the way that you are, and don't ever let anybody tell you.
Yeah, I don't know what they're bullying you about, but honestly, wait till you get older. You're just gonna laugh and be like, I really was upset because they called me whatever. I promise.
I love you.
Loving you is easy.